welcome everybody to the Chronocide podcast. I am Johnny Mac. You can find me at Johnny_CP for Twitter. Yeah. And then Instagram, you can find me at the official Johnny Mac. I'm followed by my other two hosts.
Hey.
This is Jay. You can find me at Twitter at Let's Get Jay.
I'm Bill. You can find me at BillBlack4602 at either Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah, I couldn't really land the both ats. I'm working on that.
I got that shit locked down early on, bro.
Well, Instagram doesn't allow you to have a long, or Twitter doesn't allow you to have a long at or, tag or whatever.
Well, mine's pretty simple. It's just my name with some numbers, and that's about it.
No one's going to take
really,
that anyways.
really dating yourself there, Bill.
Yeah, straight old school 2005 MySpace
What's your
status.
profile say?
Oh, it says I spin records and shit.
That's the best profile description.
There you go.
Well, speaking of description, let's actually talk about ourselves real quick about the Chronocide podcast. You can find the Chronocide podcast at Slade Time. You can also find the Chronocide podcast on Instagram at Chronocide_podcast. We're a nerd culture. Everything you need to know about nerds. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to be. Gaming, anime, tabletops. What else is there nerd stuff to do?
Going to midnight movies dressed up in costumes. We're all about it.
We're all about it.
Except for math and science.
No, those are geeks. Those are geeks.
I would specify them as geeks. But can you be a geek and a nerd at the same time?
The only numbers I crunch are in RPGs. Thank you.
I do that all the time. I've done more math in RPGs than I've ever done in real life.
Exactly. All right, let's jump into it. Jay, right away.
All right, topic number 1. Let's do it. All right, so at what point in time did you realize that gaming was important to you, and what is your favorite game? I'm going to start this off with, I remember I must have been 12. I was at my friend Derek's house in South Carolina, and he had a Super Nintendo hooked up, and he put in Chrono Trigger. This game, literally, I didn't understand how it could have so many different characters that had emotions and relationships between each other. The combat in that game was ridiculous. You could cast a spell in the air onto your sword as you came down with it and burn the enemies. I just remember there were secret characters in that game that you could just bypass altogether. It had New Game Plus, which you didn't see a lot of back then.
Didn't it have 8 different endings?
Yeah, 8 different endings. That game
back
really.
Then, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, SquareSoft could not miss back then. And that was when I realized that there was something special going on here. It wasn't like a movie where you were just kind of passive. It was like art, but you experienced it, and it could influence you, and it could make you feel things that I feel like other mediums couldn't. And I just remember that I was that was it. I knew I was gonna be doing this. And if I'm going to pick a favorite game of all time, I know this sounds like a sellout thing because I'm always on this game's nuts, but I love The Last of Us. That game speaks to me. It tells me a story that I didn't necessarily want to hear, but it was just so well done. I think everything came together in that game for me personally. I just think it's. Nice. I think that's what a masterpiece is. It did what it was meant to do, to its fullest. I can't think of something that I didn't like about it when I think about my first playthrough on that game.
Not gonna lie, when I first played that game, I did cry in the first 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. It doesn't.
It was very sad.
It does not let up. It starts off punching you in the nose. And then it just keeps going for 8 hours later. Yeah, 8 hours later, you're still crying, and you love these characters, and it's just, what a great game. What a great game.
Boom, right away, I got punched in the face, and I was like, are you serious this early on? You're going to do this to me?
I didn't even learn how to move yet.
Exactly. All right, well, Bill, you want to...
Well, I started gaming pretty young. I was playing a lot of Nintendo and a lot of Sega at my cousin's house. But I didn't get my first system until my grandmother bought me Super Nintendo for Christmas because my parents were very much against video games. They didn't want me doing it. And I'm very much the personality that you tell me not to do something and I'm going to want to do it 3 times more and just out of principle. So after Super Nintendo, all the systems that I got were all I had to purchase myself. And so over the years, I bought myself an N64, PlayStation, and me and my cousin would switch off a lot. So over the years, I would play every system. So when it comes to my favorite game, though, it's definitely, I've always been a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series, but out of all of them, Final Fantasy VI is my absolute favorite. I feel that it really, really changed games in general. It really pushed the Super Nintendo way past the limit of where it could normally handle. And the story was amazing. Everybody says that Uematsu's work on Final Fantasy VII was their
Always
favorite.
seven.
Personally, the original Terra's theme for Final Fantasy VI always hits home for me. I get tears in my eyes every time I hear it. It just hits me hits me right home. And when it comes to, it really, really set the tone for all RPGs in general. Everybody says that 7 is their favorite.
Did you stop at 6?
Well, last week I was just talking about Final Fantasy 14.
I'm
so
joking.
obviously not.
Wait,
I know.
well, let's be honest. John, did you even play 6?
No, I did not
Exactly.
play
I
6.
didn't think so.
Yeah, everybody says that 7's their favorite, and which I understand. I mean, I love 7 too. 7 would be my second favorite, but 7 is very dated now. When it comes to 6, everything just carries over. I've just recently went and replayed it on my phone, and I was going to school every day, and I was able to sit there and play it again, and it was just has so much replayability in comparison to the rest of them. Just because it was one of those games that it really brought so much more to the table. Like there was 12 characters you could play at, which was basically unheard of in an RPG. The cinematics themselves, even though they weren't cutscenes, they were in-game cutscenes, and the story was just fantastic. Halfway through the game, you lose. Your characters completely lose. The world is destroyed, and you have to try and rebuild and figure out where you got to go from there. Just in general, everything about Final Fantasy VI really, really it spoke to me, and it really set the bar for role-playing games for me in general, and made me really grow to love role-playing games in general, and that's why that's what I continue to do, and I continue to search it. And I feel like a lot of JRPGs now just don't have that same spirit that the original Final Fantasy games had back in the 90s. So
Well, the first
Yeah,
one I played was 7, so I didn't even play 6.
I
I'll go.
you
and
really
get it.
should.
I'll
It really, really withstands the test of time as compared to the rest of them.
Well, that's the big thing when that game is timeless because it's made in a format that is still acceptable today, whereas Final Fantasy VII with the block hands and the CG backgrounds and the pre-rendered stuff, you would never get away with that today.
No, not at all.
And I think that's one of those major distinctions. I think it's awesome that you brought up the hardware limitations of Super Nintendo. With what it was working with and what it delivered is just it's astounding.
All right, so we'll move on to me. Just like you, Bill, I'm the same exact way. I wasn't allowed to have a video game console. Wasn't really allowed to play video games. But my dad, on the other hand, did play sometimes. He played on his computer. He played one game and one game only all the time, and I would watch him every single day when he would play when he get home from work. It was Command and Conquer, Red Alert, great RTS game. Absolutely love it. My favorite has to be probably my favorite game of all time, actually. The Red Alert series. I'm really big into RTS games. I'm also big, I'll play my FPS games, my MOBAs, MMOs and stuff, but when it comes to it, I love sitting down and playing a real good strategy game. That's where I feel like I'm thinking the most. I'm actually really using my brain. Just like when I play Civ 5. I'm lost in that game. I'll play for hours, and I won't just finish, with one victory. I'll try to get another victory. I'll continue playing the game.
Yeah, I loved Red Alert when it came out. I remember what was the girl's name that could go and just blow up everything? Tanya or Sonya? Tanya.
Tanya.
Yeah.
She played through every single one you can have. All the Red Alert. When you got to the General 0 Hour and the Generals one, or yeah, those games. You didn't get to play as her, but I mean, still, she was great to have. You walk over, you tell her to go blow up a building, she just sneak on over there with her dual-wield pistols and boom, blow them up. The cutscenes in that game
I was just gonna say
are so cheesy, cheesy.
Weren't they like real life too?
They're
were,
real
like,
life.
Yeah, that's the best
They
part.
had Albert Einstein in him.
That's the best part of it, right there.
Oh, I loved how they showed Mother Russia and stuff, and how it's really what like the Cold War, if there was a war, that's really what it is. If there was actually a war between the United States and Russia, and it's just so amazing. Like it's so cheesy and amazing. I love it. It's a great game. I I didn't have a console. My first console I got was a Nintendo 64 that my cousin gave me. Tons of games: Mario, 007, Super Smash Bros. What else did I have? Pokemon Stadium, Zelda, the
Racer?
good games. Oh, of course.
Oh, good, so good.
I had I had all the good games, but Star Fox 64. I did not have that game. My friend had that game, and we would just trade games, and I'd always take his Star Fox every day. Like we'd be
So
like,
good.
"Oh, what game do you want?" I'd be like, "No, I'm keeping Star Fox. You can take a
That's
different
still
game."
one of my favorite games of all
It's a
time.
great game. It's an awesome game.
So I'm looking forward to the Wii U one, but I'm afraid they're gonna fuck it up.
Oh, it does not look good. It does not.
The
look good.
remastered. I mean,
No, it's not. It's not a remaster. It's a new title.
It's a new
just-
title. I thought they were remastering.
Dude,
Oh
you
no,
can-
there's a third-party company remastering the.
no,
isn't there a third?
I think they remade the first one on 3DS already, and now they're making a new one. Miyamoto is making a new one on the Wii U, and you control through the gamepad. Like you use the screen of the gamepad to like shoot, while using the analog sticks to move the plane. It looks. I'm sorry. It looks really gimmicky. I'm not a fan of what I've seen.
I'm not a
The
fan
last
of the
time I
Wii
heard
U.
about it was basically that all the gameplay itself happened on the gamepad. That's where you see your cockpit and you see everything on there.
Exactly.
And then everything that's playing on the TV is just cinematic cutscene. What the fuck is the point of that?
No. You see the plane on the TV and all that,
Uh-huh.
but you actually aim through the gamepad, which is yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Wii U. I don't know.
I bought mine for Smash and I bought mine for Zelda. As long as I get those two games, I'll shell out. I'm happy to shell out the $300.
I mean, Smash is probably the only thing that's worth getting, in my opinion. But am I gonna actually buy the console for one game? I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
All
I'll
the
go to
peop-
a friend's house and play for sure. I'll go to Jay. Let's go have a Smash night.
Yeah,
right?
I'm that guy. I'm the guy that buys the system for one game.
Speaking of different or going out for Smash night, Bill posting some new things on Facebook recently.
Which ones?
The new stuff that you got in the mail.
Oh yeah, all the new tabletops I got. Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, last week I picked up a card game. I went down to the local hobby shop and picked up a card game called Flux, which is a lot of fun. It's I got the Adventure Time version, so it uses a lot of Adventure Time characters. So if you're an Adventure Time fan, it's great. But it's a card game that has one rule, that it's you play a card and you draw a card. And after then, all the rules change depending on what you're picking up. I mean, the main idea of the game is that it's like a collection game, that if you have, say, Finn and Jake in your on the board at the same time, you win. But a lot of times the rules will change about what the goal is. So if if you put down that your goal is to collect Finn and Jake, somebody can put down another goal card and make
Mathematical, right?
yeah, well, that's actually that. I'll get into that one in a second. But they have where you have to collect 3 princesses, collect like the Ice King and Gunther. So it's different things like that. And then there's action cards where they'll change the rules of the game, where it's draw 2, draw 5, play 7. Like it's all different crazy things. And there's actually a card called Mathematical, where it's basically any number in the game, add 1 to. So if it's like play 4, you play 5. If it's a play 6, you play 7. So there's a lot of fun
That's
rules
cool.
like that. It's
That's
the one
another
game I got.
fun party game.
I played it with a couple friends when we were drinking. It gets crazy when you have 5 people all putting down rules at the same time, and you have to remember everything. It's fun to play while drunk.
Oh, definitely.
So-
Every card game,
Oh, yeah,
any deck
absolutely.
building game is great playing drunk. I mean, I have when I went to RTX in Austin, Texas, this past summer, I got Super Fight, which is a
Super Fight.
Super Fight is just it is so much fun. It's such a simple freaking game.
Zombies versus pirates.
Exactly. It's
Oh,
like
so good.
it's one of those games where like really I could have thought of that. You know what I mean? And you just wish you did. It's a great game though.
We all did think about that when we were kids, and we said, "I'm a ninja." Well, I'm a pirate. They put it on a card. That's what they did.
That's
And kudos to them.
no, it's great. I love it. We don't need to talk about that now, do we? I don't. That game. There should be a video of us playing that game. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what that deserves.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
of these. I mean, Bill just started recently a tabletop sister channel, the gaming channel.
Yep.
Hopefully, we can get some
It's
people.
totally
together.
not a ripoff. It's totally
it's
not
not.
the same thing.
Nobody
just
ever
with a
does
different
that.
Word.
What are you talking
No, never.
about? Never ever.
Took the technology out of it.
Yeah, I would love to do a live stream of us playing games. Do some
I think
Twitch
it'd be great.
streaming or any YouTube streaming.
Get all your number 2 pencils out, big gummy erasers. Let's start this up.
And then the other two games I picked up this weekend is I got a One Night Ultimate Werewolf, which I haven't gotten to play yet, but I've seen a couple different people play it online. But it looks like so much fun. Basically, the basic rules are everyone gets a card that has a role on it. Now, there's 2 werewolves, and the werewolves work together to try and not to be caught. And everybody else is a villager that's trying to catch the werewolf. So when you go, when your characters basically go to sleep, quote unquote, the werewolves open their eyes, as everybody closes their eyes, werewolves open their eyes, look at each other, and know who they are. And then there's other cards that wake up during the night to do certain things. Like there's a troublemaker that switches 2 players' cards. So if you were one card, you don't know what that card you are now because somebody just switched you. There's a robber, which will steal a card from the middle and switch it with their own. And then there's a couple other cards that have different abilities, more so when you wake up. And so when you wake up, you have 10 minutes to figure out who the werewolf is. And it basically everybody goes around trying to figure out who they are, who everybody else is, try to figure out who's bluffing. And then at the end of 10 minutes, everybody votes on somebody to lynch. And there's actually some of the cards.
So
it's so much fun. I didn't get to play it this weekend because there's only 3 of us playing. And you can play it with 3 people, but I feel like it's more so, you can just team up with a person and be like, it's you. Because if you know it's 3 people, that it's got to be one or the other. Yeah. But you could play some fun mind games. But I feel like it's a lot better with 4 or more people. There's also some other cool cards in there where if you're the tanner, you hate your job and you hate your life so much that for you to win, you have to die. So you can try and convince all the villagers that you're the werewolf. So they'll kill you and make you win. So that's another one of the fun cards that I saw in that. So yeah, that's a game that I've been really wanting to play, and I feel like that's a really, really good game to stream too. I mean, there's a couple people that have played it online that I really enjoyed watching. I know Table Flip did it once, and actually no, they did it 3 times. They played that game 3 times, and I watched all 3 streams of it, and it's been fantastic because they brought in other streamers as well to do it.
That's awesome.
So that's something I definitely want to play soon. And then the other game I got was Shadows over Camelot, which is it's similar in some aspects because there is the trader element, but it's basically you're all playing as Knights of the Round Table. You have your board, and you go on quests to try and keep Camelot from being overthrown. So there's the quest for the Holy Grail, there's quest for Sir Lancelot, there's quest for to beat the Saxons or the Picts, and then there's a bunch of different quests you could do. And these quests will gain you swords at the round table. And basically, once the round table is filled with 12 swords, you figure out which. And if you fail a quest, you get a black sword. If you win a quest, you get a white sword. So at the end of everything's said and done, once you have 12 swords, you count up how many swords you have. So if there's 7 white swords, you win. If there's 7 black swords, you lose. Now, what makes this interesting, however, is that one person in your group is actually a traitor and is trying to screw everybody else up and trying to fail quests and trying to make people, get things wrong. Oh, and another thing is every turn, you actually have to progress evil. So what you do is you draw either a black card, which will, give a different effect, like it'll make one of the quests harder to win, or it'll, make you not able to play certain cards. And then the other thing you could do to progress evil is either you can take a life yourself, because you have life points. If you take a life, it keeps you from progressing evil. And you can also put down a catapult. Now, when there's 12 catapults on the field, you automatically lose. So if you're placing catapults really fast at the beginning, it's okay. But once you get to 6, 7 catapults, you need to slow down, or else catapults are just going to get, you're just going to keep piling up. Because some of the quests,
so this is like a very strategic co-op game.
Right. It's a very strategic. It's very co-op itself. But with the trader element, you don't know who's working for you or not. So when we played it over the weekend, the first time we played it, we just played it co-op, and we got some of the rules messed up. So we won without a hitch. We just blew through the game. Nothing. It was really easy. But we were also kind of cheating because we didn't read the rules properly. And then the second time we were playing with the right rule set and with a trader. But there was only 3 of us playing, so nobody was helping each other do any of the quests. So by the time that the trader was actually revealed, it was like, well, we're screwed. So it's another game where I feel like you can play with 3 people, but it's probably better to play co-op with 3. The book actually says that if you have 3 people, you probably shouldn't play with a trader, or you should play. They have a rule where it's not until 6 catapults are on the field that you actually look at your card to see what you are. So the first half of the game, you're actually working.
You're
together.
actually working together.
That
Right.
should be like the beer rule. You can drink it warm, but it's best served cold.
Yeah,
That's like-
Served cold.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
So yeah, definitely a fun game. All 3 games. I mean, if we're gonna do rating systems, I'm gonna give it a is good out of is not good. I will say is good.
Is good.
That's gonna be my
It's
rating
about as
system for
simple as
now.
it gets, right?
Rather than number systems, I'm gonna say is good.
Is
Is
good.
good. All right.
I mean, if
Okay,
you don't
so
like
the
it,
accents in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
it's
on.
good.
It's Russian, right? Right
I
on.
like.
Right
I
on.
like it.
I like it pretty good.
It's pretty good.
So, any of you guys play Rainbow Six beta?
I did not
I
get
have
to.
not. I
Oh
have
my
not.
god.
I didn't get a code for PC, and that's all I can play it on right now. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, I've been a big Rainbow Six fan forever. I mean, I remember playing Rainbow Six back when it was on Dreamcast.
Rainbow Six. Do I have? I posted this on the gaming channel before. Rainbow Six is not having a campaign, and I'm so upset about that.
Yeah, it's a Tom Clancy game. How does
It's a
that make
Tom
any
Clancy
sense?
game, and there's no campaign.
Yeah.
I liked the Rainbow Six campaigns. I thought they were great.
They
I
were.
loved
Las
playing them.
Vegas
I loved,
was
and then
fantastic.
obviously your terrorist hunt, but that's not part of the campaign. Let's be real. But I do love the multiplayer. That's what we're playing in the beta is the multiplayer. I mean, there's terrorist hunt mode, which is so freaking hard. When I originally played Rainbow Six Siege, it was at RTX, and it was a blast. I was played with 4 random guys that were from, I want to say Oregon, and they needed 1 extra player, and I was the 1 extra player. Joined them in. I mean, they actually just sent me friend requests on Xbox to play with them, so I've been playing with them. And they're okay. I hate to throw you guys under the bus because I know you're going to be listening to this. They call it all the time. They're like, "You're always the one that's carrying the team." That's what happens. Beta, it's pretty good. I mean, it's beta though. It's not the game. Obviously, there's gonna be some. I always have issues. Sometimes I can't even like move while I'm playing. It's a really good game though. You guys should try it. Try to get your hands on it.
I've watched a bunch of the streams. Like this, the whole idea of it really, really interests me
I
because
like-
I'm more so when it comes to shooters. I love tactical shooters.
Oh, this is
It's-
very tactical.
Yeah, exactly. I like the games where you have to think before you
Friendly
act and-
fire.
Yeah.
There's definitely bullet drop. When you're shooting, there's way more recoil in this game than there is in Battlefield.
I like games where it's like 1-2 hits and you go down. I was a very big Counter-Strike player, a couple years ago. I mean now not so much because it's all just memorization and it's just it's gotten
That
the fun
AWP.
factor out of it is just kind it's just odd who has an op and there you go.
Use-
Exactly.
yeah,
Who's upping it?
Yeah.
I can't
Drop your,
anymore.
drop your resolution down. Just,
Mm.
it's so bad.
It's
Oh,
Said
man.
Josh drew an invite, and then you.
I do like it, but it's one of those games that it's never going to be the same until there's an absolutely new one. I mean, Go was cool because the first couple months that it was out, it was a new game, and it wasn't your typical Counter Strike. A lot of new people were playing. You weren't playing against the same people that all they've been doing for the last 10 years is playing Counter Strike. But now it's back to your typical Counter Strike players, and there's not much else. And if you're not playing,
It's
If you're not playing
regularly
and buying
every
skins,
week,
then
yeah.
you're not. You're not
yeah.
a.
Let's-
You're
I
not
mean,
a Go
it's just
player.
one of those. It's just one of those
CS:GO.
games that if you're new, it's not very new friendly. It's like
No,
almost
not at
like
all.
it's almost like a MOBA. Like you can't just jump in. Like, oh, this is fun. Let's play it. No, you can't.
If you're
Don't
not
do
wearing V-necks and jeans and a hat, and spend $50 on skins, and your name is Shem, then
Oh,
If you're not Albanian, you can't play it.
Shamalama Ding Dong, my favorite Albanian.
I had to say that about Shem.
Go ahead and drop him in here.
You had to drop him in there. Yeah, so
For
we're
those
talking
of you that have no idea who we're talking about, Shem is a friend of ours, and we make fun of him along with everybody else, especially Michael, because he's terrible.
we all
Yeah.
get made fun of.
We all
always
get made
pick
fun
on
of
each other.
We all get made.
We all love each other though.
It's
So we talk about games. We talk about tabletop games. We talk about our favorite games. Why don't we talk about really quick about ourselves? Like Jay, what are you doing? What are you doing in life,
So,
man?
well, I own a puppy. He's not a puppy anymore. He's almost 2 years old.
love
I have a
him.
dog.
So
It's
cute.
a Shiba.
Are
It's
you
Shiba
sure it's
Inu.
not a cat? I'm pretty sure you actually want a cat.
He acts like a cat, but he is in fact a Shiba Inu. He's like a little Star Fox. I named him McCloud after Star Fox.
He looks just like him though, which
He
is
is he's adorable. But he is annoying. He only wants to be pet when he wants to be pet. He's just like a cat, exactly. And I'm a very big dog person, so it's ironic that I got stuck with this guy. At work, I've been working for the same company for 7 years now. I manage an in-flight catering cafe. For those of you that don't know what that is, you can tweet at me at Let's Get Jay, and I'll answer that for you. Yeah, I'm gonna selflessly pour myself through this.
Pour it out.
Shameless self-promotion.
I love it.
I've been doing it for years. I know what it's like.
I'm actually in the process of interviewing for a new position with that baddie Michael's job. I'm hoping, fingers crossed that goes well for me. I got some new information today. So within the next couple of weeks, I should have a yes or a no. In any case, it's been a good experience. It's really opened my eyes to other options besides just private industry food business.
Yeah.
But I'm it's nice that I've been blessed to have a job for 7 years.
A job that where food is always around too. I would love that. I would.
Yeah,
be eating all
it's
day.
definitely showing. I put on a few pounds since I started this position, but it's all good, as they say. What about you? What's going on with your life?
My life. Well, I work full time as a contractor. Travel around in my truck all the time, different jobs, doing different tasks. So much fun. But actually, on my spare time, not really on my spare time, it'd be my spare time. And I am a magician.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I am. I'm more on the side of building illusions and sets for a few magicians. That's what I'm getting really into. I love doing it. I love being around magic. My father was a magician. But when it sets to it, I do love performing, but I love building it and having somebody else perform it. I don't know, that sounds weird, but it's just, I get enjoyment out of it. I don't see it as a full-time career or something I want to do. I find the more of the contracting way, because family-owned business, I'm next in the line, next for the throne. So,
see, when you say you want to be a magician, all I think in my head is that just Job from
Arrested Development.
Oh no,
everybody thinks that
it's an illusion.
It's just an illusion.
I was going the complete
the guy,
other way with
the
that.
guy in the $30,000 suit. No,
come on,
Are you wearing a $4,000 suit?
I mean, come on.
Oh my God, my life.
There's always money in the banana stand.
There's always money in the banana stand.
I was actually thinking that you're like a young Michael Caine from The Prestige. You like to build things for other magicians. That's really bad Michael Caine.
That movie was completely ruined to me. Before I had ever seen it. I wanted to see it, and a friend of mine.
Fantastic movie.
He completely. I'm not going to do it myself because I had it happen to me. But then again, it's been 7 years, so if I spoil it, then it's your own loss. But the twist at the end was completely spoiled to me by a friend of mine. That was like, "Man, I can't believe that blank," and I'm like, "Wow, cool." Now I don't have to see this movie.
That's not how magic works, by the way. I mean, if that's how magic worked, it would be where we are today in science. Would be pretty amazing.
Science.
The science. Michael Caine. You ever, the thing, my cocaine? What am I saying? What am I saying right now? My cocaine.
Saying Michael Caine.
I'm saying Michael Caine.
I've never done that. That's awesome. It actually works much better than me trying to.
When you're drunk, it's even better. Trust me. I would know.
I would know. What about you, Bill? What's going on with you?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
I recently finished school a couple months ago. I've been pretty much. I took my summer off. Been hanging out, and I'm getting more into the job search part of it. My school's helping me try to find some places. I really want to get into post-production. That's really where, after going to school for a year, I realized that as much as I do love music, I'd rather just do music for fun and, make my own songs for myself and for my friends.
You do spin some sick shit.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Bill, we know you and we love you and we know what you went to school for. Why don't you elaborate? What'd you go to school for?
I went to school for audio engineering. So either music production, sound design, sound engineering. It was a mixture of pretty much everything. Just basically school for sound in general. So I learned. Yeah, I had a background because I went to community college in it, and I took some time off. I was living with my ex, and I was DJing a lot. DJing. I've been DJing for like 7 years now, almost. No, actually, no, it's
Hashtag
more like 8, 9
DJ
years.
Dark Wolf.
I mean, that's my old one. I go by Bill Black mostly now.
It's so cool. He's got a great name.
I mean,
awesome.
I was born with it, so that's why I went back to it. And then a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, why'd you switch your DJ names?" I'm like, "Cause it's my actual name."
Everybody's
and people
doing it
didn't
now.
understand it. So I was doing that for a
process.
while, and I was chasing that dream. But that's one of those things that it's very, very, very much a popularity contest, and I'm not that guy. I don't want to have to, kiss people's boots to try and get bookings, and have to kiss ass to everybody that I can find just so I can make a name for myself. I'm not like that, and it's not really worth it to me. I've seen the good and the bad in the music industry, and I'm not about it anymore. I would love to get into recording, becoming a recording engineer, but that's another thing that when you're dealing with it every single day. I don't think I could handle it. It's just something that after being in the industry for a while and going to school for it as well, it's not for me. But I was turned on to post-production, so doing sound for music, doing sound for television, movies, video games. I'd much rather do that. Like a lot of sound
Sounds like an
design
awesome
work.
job.
Oh yes, I went to PAX East. It was about 2. It was not this year, but it was the year before. And I got to talk to a lot of the actual sound designers for games, and I got really, really interested in it. So that's on my top of the list. What I would love to do, and what I've been working on getting better at. But I will take anything in post production. Post production is just so much fun for me.
Yeah. Sound is that's the most appealing thing, in my opinion, when it comes, especially comes in video games. If it sounds great, it's gonna be a good game. Like if I cringe when somebody's bone breaks and it's not
yeah.
actually a bone breaking,
man.
that's like, oh, that's amazing. All right, I hear a gunshot going off.
Tomb Raider did that very well.
Oh, Tomb
Did
Raider.
Tomb Raider
you
did
ever
very
get to
well.
see? Did you ever get to see my final project for school where I did Akira?
Yes.
Did
You
you-
posted
did
that a
you-
while ago, though.
Did you hear my bone crunch?
Yes.
It
I
makes
did.
me cringe, and I made the shit.
Yeah,
That's great.
That was one of the times that I thought you were just showing me a clip of the movie. I couldn't even tell the difference, and then you're like, no, that's my project.
That's my project.
If
I
I could
did
go
that.
back and change anything, it's really just the voice acting. No offense to my friends. I mean, they did great. I had some great performances, but overall, it was just so rushed for time that a lot of it had to be done on USB microphones. I didn't get to use the booth, so there wasn't, it wasn't isolation.
Yeah.
So the ADR itself is okay. So
I'm talking about
Alright.
I'm talking about the sound of the bike and the wheels and like all
lots
the bone
and lots
crunching.
of layering. It's just
Yeah.
lots and lots of layering.
Well, it's lots and lots of good.
That's beautiful.
So,
It's a
well
lot of
done.
work here, there, man. I'm gonna little
Yeah,
clap for that one. There you go.
I'm gonna give you a golf clap. You're
Oh,
not
I'm
even go
blushing.
here.
I'm blushing.
Are you blushing?
I'd like
What,
to thank the Academy and my mom and God.
They gave you a diploma, so it was good enough.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys.
All right, let's go.
This is a great question.
Hit me.
This is a would you rather.
Oh. I've heard of these things. These questions.
You've heard of
myth.
them. There's a
Whatever.
game,
I have.
man.
I have.
I'll tell you one that's been on my mind for a while.
Okay.
Somebody told me a while ago, and I've been like going around telling people because it's great. Like I always think about it. I always change it. All right, ready? Would you rather listen to the same song for the rest of your life or eat the same food for the rest of your life?
That's easy for me.
That's easy for you?
That's easy for me.
No, I'm saying like every single time you hear a song, even if someone's playing a different song, that song that you agreed to listen to for the rest of your life
Not
will
possible.
play.
Nope, can't do it. I
And
wouldn't.
the
As
food
somebody,
and the food too. If you're hungry
whatever.
and you picked a burger, it is. If you picked a McDonald's cheeseburger, it's a McDonald's cheeseburger. You can't take the cheese off. You can't take if you wanted pickles on it, I would take the pickles off. I can't put pickles back on it, and I can't. That's just it. This
Yeah.
is very hard.
This
Nope,
is so
easy.
this is so
Nope,
easy,
easy.
for me.
So
I
easy.
can't. I can't.
It's so easy. All right. Basically, as being an audio guy, I could never listen to the same song.
So you'd
every
have
day.
to automatically.
I listen
go.
to this. I have to. I do that on a daily basis. I cannot listen to the same song more than like
You're
3
stuck.
times.
You just have to eat the same food then. So you're going
Oh
to.
yeah, I pepperoni pizza straight from Brooklyn. I
Straight
could
from
eat
Brooklyn.
that every single day of my life.
Oh man, I am so the opposite of the spectrum than that. All right, so here's my argument. Hear me out. With food, a meal, you are getting multiple senses involved. You're getting smell. You're getting taste. You're feeling. You're feeling
it, man.
Like
it's just touching you all over the place.
I can listen. I have been listening to the same music for the last fucking 10 years. It doesn't bother me at all. I could go without music at all. I don't need music. Just give. But if I can pick a different meal every day, oh man, I'm in heaven. That's why I am the big guy on the podcast right now.
Big guy on the podcast.
I'm the big guy on the podcast. No, dude, that's so easy for me. Like, I'll clap my hands and make a little beat if I want to hear something. I don't give a shit.
I hate you so
no, but every single time you clap your hands, it's the beat to that song.
That's well, it's gonna be. I'm gonna rickroll myself for all of time while I'm eating every fucking meal that I want.
I don't know what I would choose because I love eating food. I love eating different types of food. I couldn't eat the same food over and over again, but I listen to music every day, like when I'm working or when I'm just like relaxing and hanging out. I love listening to different types of music. So it's like, I don't know what to choose. I'm stuck. Like, can I kill myself instead? Like, what?
Can I kill myself instead?
Besides the major implication of eating the same thing for the rest of your life, you would obviously die. You can't eat the same thing every day of your life.
Well, no, in this case, you're okay. You'll be fine. You won't die.
Well, I'm just saying, you're also condemning yourself to 3 other senses every single day for the rest of your life. Plus, you eat 3 times a day. Like, come on now.
I don't have a favorite song. I get tired of the same song after listening to it twice.
Yeah, I'm so.
I need my playlists. I make sure they're long, like so I don't have to hear the same song again. But I just remember this back in high school, about 6 years ago. My friend listened to the same song all day for 4 days straight. He tried going for a week. Like, he just had his headphones in all day for 4 days, listening to Yeah. And he would walk past you in the hallway. You'd like walk up to him, but hey Brian, what's up? And all you hear was yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's such a bad song.
He went from he picked the worst song you could pick. That was his song, and that's all I think of. It's just me. Like, I would pick a bad song. I would honestly pick the worst song ever.
See, my problem is that I as being somebody that's been in the industry, like, I have 300 gigs of music. I can't
it's all gonna be 300 gigs of the same song.
Like, I can't do it. Like, that's not possible for me.
man.
I after working for a pizza place, like, I could eat pizza every single friggin' day.
I've had pizza for
it's a drug to me. I love pizza.
A week straight having pizza, and then I got so sick of it I couldn't eat pizza, and that's that's something to say. I love pizza. I mean,
I'll get sick of it. I'm sure any situation that we're in will get sick of whatever we're doing. But when it comes to what I get sick of eating or what I get sick of listening to, it's going to be listening. I will take my ears. That's my job. That's my career. That's what I do.
Oh man, I could just listen to nothing.
I feel silence.
I'll be a Zen monk while I eat my pancakes. And,
I mean, that
means you can't even make your own music. Like, you can't even pick up a guitar and try to make music. You're just be playing that same song that you've been listening to.
I'd have to choose if I had to. Like, someone put a gun up to my head and I couldn't say pull the trigger. I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter anyways because I'd have to choose. I would go with music. I wouldn't listen. I would listen to the same song. Man, it would suck. It'd take me a bit to find the perfect song, but I'll find it.
Don't listen. You just turn the song off.
It might be the Pokemon theme song.
I want to be the very best.
Yeah,
like no
either that or the
was.
French Prince of Bel Air. Because
nice.
It's so catchy, you know. It's so great.
I want like na 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 na.
It'd be a great like alarm clock to wake up to, you know.
The Millennium.
But think about how awesome it would be though, going to a concert, you know, like a heavy metal concert with your friends, and the Pokemon theme song is the song you listen to all the time, and they're just going hardcore, and it's just like, I want to be the very best, just headbanging.
Just going to a concert,
Yeah.
it's just the same
you're
song.
just,
That would be kind of funny, but
or like they're singing a depressing song, and you're like, yeah, and everybody's like, wow,
man.
this asshole.
Yeah, you got like Jack's mannequin up there cutting his wrist, and you hear, I want to be the very best.
My God,
That'd be fantastic.
that'd be great.
That would be fantastic.
Well, how about to the listeners? You guys should tell us what you would choose
please.
at Slade time.
Slade. Yep.
And
Slade time,
any
yeah.
other things you want to hear? Anything you want to hear us talk about? Any questions
Do you have
that
good
for us?
would you rather's? Definitely
I
send
wanna
them
know-
our way. I
I want to know
some more.
what favorite game they have, and if they can pinpoint a point in time that they choose, that they realize what made it special to them.
Definitely, that'd be great. I think that's all that we have today, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty long podcast, but
Good job, everyone. Congratulations on episode 2.
I'm patting myself on the back.
I'm patting myself on the back
Golf clap for
Bill,
episode 2.
Bill, you're gonna have a great time editing this.
Yeah. There was
At
a
least
few
it won't be
hiccups.
the same song every single time, okay?
Yeah, at least it
I would
won't.
pick our theme song. Boom.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pick
Shout out
it.
to Frank.
No, I'll
Shout out
pick.
to
You
Frank.
know what? Even better, I'll pick our outro. Boom! How you like that? Oh,
Outro
now the
start
outro's
now.
playing.
The outro
Oh,
is sweet.
look at that magic, bitch.
I'm walking away from